Welcome back, everyone. Now we have a CEO Power Panel on why should EX lead your boardroom agenda. In this session, you'll get answers to how EX is contributing to the CX metric and why leaders are prioritizing it, and what matters in EX in 2022. I would like to invite Preeti Nagi, Human Resources Director, Black Hawk Network India, to moderate the discussion with a stellar lineup. Sprint and stride activity goes live for the second question at the end of this session. You will see a pop-up question on your screen. Type your answer at the earliest to win the jackpot prize. We already have one champion waiting for the next two, so keep sharing and keep winning. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Samir Gupta, Chairman and Managing Director, Jackson Group, Saigal Edsman, Founder and CEO, Medix Global, and Preeti. Welcome and over to you.
Welcome to our today's session, which is on why should employee experience lead your boardroom agenda. Basically, employee experience is a defining moment that matter. It encapsulates what employee encounter and observe over the period of their journey at an organization. Research shows that employee experience matter because all of the individual moment of an employee experience plays a critical role in how an employee feels about company's purpose, brand, and culture. These feelings directly impact employee engagement, retention, performance, and development. With this note, we would like to start our CEO Power Panel discussion on why should employee experience lead your boardroom agenda. Would like to welcome once again Mr. Samir and Saigal to this session. Good afternoon, Samir. Good afternoon, Saigal. How are you doing?
Good afternoon.
All right, so let's start our session. So my first question is, how has the pandemic changed the way organization prioritize employee experience? Any one of you can pick up this question.
Yeah, I can start sharing on this question. First of all, thank you, Preeti. It's a very important and a relevant topic, what you have picked up, very relevant for today and for times to come, which is going to make a huge impact on not only employee experience, but eventually, of course, customer experience and growth of any organization for that matter. Coming to pandemic, I think pandemic undoubtedly has a big role to play as to how employees have experienced last couple of years. I think digital world or online meetings have impacted hugely work-life balance, and there is today a very thin line between professional life and personal life. As we would have all witnessed in last 2-3 years, there is no concept of weekends or even Sundays. We'll end up working literally to convenience of other stakeholders. So this experience of employees where work-life balance has got totally off track would have really made an impact on themselves and their personal lives. I think employees need to have convenience, engagement, and a very fulfilling experience, which eventually would lead to increased productivity, increased revenues, higher customer satisfaction, and therefore higher profits for the organization. So unless and until employee experience is going to be good, the companies going forward won't be able to achieve their objective. I would be happy to share what we have done at Jackson, unless Saigal, you have some views.
I can maybe, before we share respectively what our organizations have done, I think everything has really changed for employers and employees as well. I think that security, the fears, the way we work has completely changed. The way we manage our teams, we need to supervise. We need to know that the productivity has not gone down during this pandemic when people were working at home. There's no teamwork. At the beginning, we didn't have the teamwork feeling where everyone could meet each other, chat with each other, catch up. At work, people make friends, and suddenly everyone has had to stay at home and has also had to manage the situation where working from home in certain cases is not easy. If you have little children or a lot of family members in a small house, it can be noisy. Everyone is on Zoom trying to hold those stakeholder meetings. It has really not been easy. It has been a burden on mental health And clearly, there was a huge toll on physical health as well for the employees and for their family members. I think what strikes me the most is the change of work-life balance. That is one thing. The stress levels, and also the fact that everyone realizes that the employees' benefits have changed and they're looking for more benefits around mental and physical well-being. And they want to make sure that they will be healthier if another wave hits again. They want to make sure they have the protection they need and the finances to be able to cover for medical expenses. And I think that on the side of the employers, everyone understands that they now had to become ambassadors of better and good health, ambassadors of wellness, and they have to take part, and they have, as employers, to budget and to participate in actions that ensure better well-being from a mental and a physical perspective. Also, the employees now are expecting, and you see in India, but also around the world, a lot of movement. A lot of people are resigning and looking for additional jobs, different jobs. They want change, and they're looking for organizations that they know that they can feel more secure and have a good support system and new benefits with regards to health and well-being, mental health and physical health. And that, I think, has really changed the paradigm and really changed the situation in the relationship between employees and employers. And we have done also a lot of different things in that space, but maybe Samir, you share first what you have done in your organization to support for your employees and for your customers as well.
Yeah, thank you, Sigal. As you rightly said, we need to be ambassadors of wellness, no second thought about it. And there is a fear which has crept in the mind of employees and other stakeholders as well. I think the biggest thing, to my experience, what we actually implemented also, connect with employees. I think despite being on digital platform, the human connect with employees across all layers is what we focused on, and we have increased it significantly. I am totally convinced that leaders, it's not only about the CEO, but leaders in any organization need to invest and commit to a lot more time to people. And fortunately, by the way, this is the plus of the technology. Technology makes it possible today. Unless and until employees feel more connected to the leaders and leaders walk the talk, I think irrespective of whatever benefits we may talk about or whatever we may want to give to them, it's not going to sustain. Objective is again to create anything what you create should be sustainable on long-term basis. Leaders, I think, have a very big role to play in this transition. They need to walk the talk. They need to demonstrate their commitment to core purpose of the organization and values of the organization. They need to again connect with employees and share with them how being committed to the core purpose can lead to long-term achievement of the objectives what the company has set for all the stakeholders, employees being most important relevant stakeholders. So I think leaders, it brings a lot of responsibility onto leaders to my mind. Secondly, I would say, there is some re-establishment of culture. I will not say change or shift of culture, but re-establishment of culture, where again, as engagement process, we need to do employee satisfaction surveys, use some platforms to understand what is employees' perception. It might not be real, but if there is a perception which is making an impact, I think it's a responsibility of the organization and the leaders to change that perception. And the data which is so collected out of ESS, at least that's what we are trying to do. We are using data analytics, and we are figuring out solutions which could be, for example, internal collaboration tools, or some kind of different kind of programs which we are trying to roll out, including reward programs for the employees, so that they feel involved, they feel motivated, they feel connected. One of the things what we are doing is we are trying to have a feedback app where we don't just think about 2 appraisals or whatever number of appraisals in a year. We are wanting to make it more kind of an online process, where again the objective is that to have the deeper connect with the employee. I think that cultural shift, as I said, of having a deeper connect with the employee will make big difference to lives and mindset of the employees. And of course, to Sigal's point again, we need to stand rock like a rock solid in a rock solid way. We need to stand behind them and support them in any kind of need, be it medical emergencies or any kind of, so that they feel secure. Should a third wave come in, that fear is certainly there. So they should feel very confident that yes, the organization is going to there and stand behind them. These are the few things I thought would be relevant to share in this forum.
That's amazing, Sameer.
I wanted to pick up on Sameer and to also share a little bit of what at Medics we have done locally, but also globally in all our different country offices. So we have offices in almost 13 different countries. We service millions of customers around the world, including in India. And we have put a lot of effort in, first of all, providing a lot of information and transparency. In days where in the beginning of the pandemic, surely, and through the whole pandemic, it was first and above everything, it was providing accurate medical and health related information about the pandemic. What can you do to improve your health? What can you do to try to avoid getting COVID? And if you would get COVID, what are the things you need to do? And I can tell you that we have learned a lot from India. India having a lot of people being at home with COVID and not in the hospitals or not in medical centers. We have taken a lot of different protocols, if it's vitamin C and zinc and vitamin D and different additional support medicines for people who were sick but managed at home. And we actually deployed them around the world. So I think, first of all, transparency, information, support system, as Sameer said, intercompany communications were crucial, making sure that leaders were in touch with every single employee, understanding their personal needs, but also the needs of their group, their working groups, because working groups were created, smaller ones for people to digitally work together, reporting systems. So people felt quite disconnected and they want to make sure that their managers see what they're doing and show their productivity. So reporting systems so that people will be appreciated for the hard efforts and the investment in the engagement they were putting when they were working from home. We also provided a mental health support systems, and we enrolled a number of employees from every different business unit into what we have aligned with is a happiness university. So there is a global university for happiness. These are happiness studies who help you mindfulness, meditation, managing stress, managing anxiety, worries. And a lot of people have learned new skills of how to manage these feelings, these fears, uncertainty, and have become ambassadors of happiness through the organization, which was very important. We also provided help desks and health COVID-related call centers for customers, specifically in India, when the big wave was coming, and it was very, very difficult to reach and find oxygen or find hospital beds. We actually developed a digital tool for self-triage at home. So employees could actually answer a questionnaire for themselves or for their families that would provide a data analytical tool to understand, backed by an algorithm, how do you actually score from a severity and urgency of your COVID condition. So it would ask you questions like, how many breaths do you breathe per minute? What is your fever? When were you first diagnosed? When were your first symptoms? And you have about 20 questions. It's all digital. And then an algorithm would actually score your emergency and the urgency and the severity of your condition while managed at home. And then you would be triaged and put into a queue for speaking either to a medical coordinator if you score very low, or to a nurse if you score medium, or directly to a doctor if you're very urgent and your condition is severe. So we really try to implement tools, new tools, through this pandemic that support our employees and our customers with regards to their mental well-being, to their emotional well-being, and their physical well-being while dealing with COVID. We also provided remote consultancy services by specialists so that people who didn't want to get out of the house because of the pandemic, but had medical issues, could have telehealth solutions and get advice remotely from doctors. So we really try to work on transparency, information, solutions, and support tools for people when working at home, if healthy, or prevention, working on getting stronger while at home, or if they got COVID, managing their situation at home. It has been a huge challenge to provide everything people have needed, but we've really tried our best, and we've learned from the different cultures, the different countries. We've learned a lot from our India offices and our Indian teams and the Indian healthcare system. And we've implemented a lot around the world. And I think we really try to provide good support to our people.
I want to add one more quick point to what Segal said.
Please, Samir.
Yeah, just sharing one more thing, what we did, we are having 2 webinars on monthly basis for employees all across, where experts around wellness and health or nutrition, etc., come and speak. They're all experts from all over the country. And this is really motivating all employees, and it's bringing in focus from employees and their family standpoint to, focus on health. And apart from the infrastructure where we have created isolation facility, etc., should something happen again, employees should get that confidence that company is going to stand behind them. Secondly, technology. I think technology, so that's on the health side. Even otherwise, on the technology side, we are doing a lot in terms of upgrading our various IT tools. In last 2 years, we have upgraded our CRM tool, our ERP tool, our HRMS tool, stuff like contactless attendance. As we talk, we are undergoing a 2 years organizational transformation project, which is going to be all hinging around technology. So that is creating a lot of excitement amongst the employees. And thirdly, even in this lean period where it was a lockdown and all for months together in the last 2 years, we have focused lots on training and skilling. And by the way, what we are now doing differently is we are curating, I would say, learning pathways, which is going to be unique to each employee's individual needs. So that's going to be more of a tailor-made solution on both training and skilling after identifying the skill gaps of the employees. So that's again motivating employees, which is, building huge trust that yes, we care for them and we care for their careers and their future. So just 3 more points that came to my mind I thought I would share.
Amazing.
Absolutely. That was very important add-on, Samir, because digital training has become crucial in order to onboard new employees and to make sure that existing employees continue to develop their skills and their knowledge to drive productivity and company success. So very well said, Samir, and reminding us the importance of digital training that I think all large corporates have been able to implement and work on. It's very important.
That's nice. So basically, well-being and flexibility is becoming center of experience for employees, and that is how the organization are designing their strategies. That's good. So that leads to my next question. So what are the experiences future talent will look for in the companies? Would like to know views on that. Segal, would you like to take up this question?
So you're asking what the new talents, what the new roles have been developed?
Candidates. Future talents means candidates, the next generation talent. What are the things which they will look for in terms of experience when they are going to join new company?
So I think, again, they are looking for companies that have fully integrated digital solutions so that they will have the flexibility to work from the office or from home, that they will also have the capability to move to different cities, to different villages, to go to see other parts of their family, stay with them and work from other places. They don't need to stay in Mumbai or in New Delhi or in Bangalore or in one of the big cities. They can simply go elsewhere and stay with family and work from anywhere they want. We see that also around the world. People are going to remote places, beautiful countries, and they say 2 or 3 months a year, we want to work from somewhere else. So this is something that people will look for. Also, new talents are looking for, on top of the whole digital experience, as I said, companies that are ambassadors of health and provide private health insurance, protection, accessibility. So making sure that it's not just financial coverage through insurance, but also accessibility to health and mental, emotional and physical health solutions. I think this has become a very, very important benefit, and new talents are looking for a new generation of benefits, which are crucial for flexibility, good health, including prevention services. So how can I make sure that I avoid certain conditions? How can I make sure that I'm healthier? Work specifically on their mental health capabilities and skills, empowering them. So companies that actually provide tools that would empower their inner strength, skill development, also again, digital training. So not companies that have not embedded training solutions that are digital. And as I said before, accessibility to healthcare. I think accessibility to healthcare and support systems in crises, in health crisis times, have become the number one, really the number one need of people, and that what they are looking for, everyone.
That's nice. Great, Sigal. Thank you. And
Yeah.
as the organizations have adopted for a hybrid work model in the coming years, what are the trends you see in employee experience in 2022? So let's start with Samir. Would you like to share your observations?
Yes, Preeti, and just one thought on what Sigal said on future talent.
Mhm.
I would say, today's workforce, if we think about it, it has become pretty complex. We have multiple generations working in an organization. Earlier, it used to be at the best 3, and today there is a generation gap every perhaps 5 years or 7 years. So that's one challenge which organizations need to figure out and find a solution. And it cannot be, very clearly, it cannot be one size fits all approach. We have to customize solutions for perhaps each layer of generation. So that's one thought. Other is that I think companies will have no other option but to identify unique needs of the employees, as I was trying to say during training and skilling thought as well. And the relevant choices, or perhaps tailor-made choices, would need to be offered to employees, including work from home options, as Sigal was talking about. And I think scorecards would need to be more output based rather than expecting employees to be working from 9 to 6 or whatever. And particularly if we talk of Generation Z, I think what they are looking for is more flexibility on how, on what, and where they can work from. So if we are able to offer these to employees, I think employee satisfaction and their commitment to the organization will certainly grow. And I wouldn't hesitate in saying that employees do want their companies should be, the companies they're working for should be focusing on technology, on innovation, on digitization. They got to have some kind of a digital roadmap. There should be huge learning opportunities. Employees should be able to learn. They should have the right work environment, a leader which could motivate them, which could inspire them, and of course the right culture. So just I thought of adding these few points to what Sigal said on hybrid.
As the organization are moving towards hybrid work model, so what are the trends in employee experience you see in year 2022?
So Preeti, I think fundamentally, I would say 3 key dimensions. One is, as I was talking about, working environment. Second is culture, and third is use of technology. And when I say working environment, it's about not only committing leaders committing a lot more time to employees, but also we have a responsibility of inspiring our team members down the line, and we need to walk the talk. If we are able to demonstrate in our actions, again, when I say our leaders' actions, that yes, all our actions are committed towards company achieving its core purpose, or company or our actions demonstrating that we are committed to the values of the company, I think that's going to be a strong motivator to employees, and that's going to create a right work environment, to my mind. Culturally, as I said, training and skilling will play a big role. To my mind, I think that's again going to be a key. And I wouldn't hesitate in saying that ESG will be a very important thing for employees to experience. If as companies we are able to demonstrate that we are committed to environment, sustainability, and governance, I think a lot of employees will reflect commitment to work for organizations. And the third pillar perhaps is technology. As I said again, technology will be the way to go. We will have to have digital roadmaps, and we need to again keep on demonstrating to employees that yes, we are upgrading technology literally on ongoing basis. So if these three pillars are taken care of, I think the hybrid model is effectively going to work.
Very well
I
said.
would like to add to that, if I may, Priti,
Yes, please.
that I think it's very important for employees also to feel the security, so the consistency, that the company is strong, that the leadership is strong, that they're not zigzagging and changing their decisions or their minds. First, you can work from home, and then it's flexible, and then they want everyone to come back to the office, and then not. So I think management has to be very transparent, has to provide facts and information, has to be very consistent with its decisions. And also, and that is for me very important, and we've really tried to do that, but it is not always as easy as it seems, but we are very committed. It is not just to please employees. In times of pandemics and in times of challenge and difficulty, the role of leaders, and you can think of parents, or you can think of business leaders, or you can think of your friends in times of crisis. You want them to be strong, and you want them to be supportive, but to also lead you in the right directions. The responsibility of us, our responsibility as leaders, from CEO downwards, is to lead our employees into the right place. It is not just say, you can choose what you want, whenever you want, as often as you want, as much as you want. It is about what is good for you. And if the pandemic has slowed down and everyone is vaccinated in the organization, and the security measures have been put in place for healthy and safe environment, it is important also to tell them some part you have to come to the office and be consistent about it, because that allows them to keep the social skills, that allows them to meet people, because certain conversations that happen in the hallway in the office or in the open space do not happen digitally. Digitally, everything is planned, right? You have meetings, digital meetings, but you don't have those spontaneous talks or sharings, or people walking around, even going to the bathroom, meeting someone, one of their colleagues, and talking about something that happened in their family or at home, or some concerns. So I think it is important for us as leaders not just to comply and find solutions that are digital and remote working from home, but we also have to provide the leadership and the security and the safety for people to come to the office and to find a way to partially meet up again face to face as much as possible. I think for the emotional health of the employees, this is crucial. It is very easy for employers to say everyone works from home, they can reduce their office space, reduce their investment in rent or in their office expenses. However, it is not always in the well-being, for the well-being of the employees, to fully and only work from home. So when the pandemic allows, it is important to combine with leadership decisions that are sometimes not easy, because not everyone likes it, to say you can work from home a certain amount, you have to come when pandemic allows a certain amount, and as a company, to make it safe, share what are the points that have been done in the organization to protect you. So for example, organized travel to work in certain cities. We have organized cars, drivers, little minivans for people living in the same areas coming to the office. That is crucial. And also organizing safe and secure working environments from a pandemic perspective. If it's providing and paying for masks, for alcohol gels, for places to wash your hands, for accessibility, special ways to open and close doors with special handles. So there's a lot that employers can do. And it is important to not forget that people need, for their emotional well-being, also to come to the office for their social skills, for their teamwork. It should not all be digital. It is not an easy decision, and there needs to be an investment done here to promote and allow a flexibility and a combination of remote and physical work. But that needs and requires leadership, consistency, and also probably a personal example. You have to lead by example. So managers and CEOs have to come to the office and have to talk physically and meet their employees and their colleagues. And they have to be able to put their hand on their shoulder and to say, I've missed you. I'm happy to see you. How is your family? How have you been doing? Not everything works perfectly and is as warm digitally as it is face-to-face. We need to be able to keep our warmth and our human interactions. And that is for me also crucial as a leader to fight for.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm total agreement to what you said, Segal.
Great thoughts. And this is leading to my last question is, how rapidly do companies need to evolve their employee experience strategies?
To my mind, I think it should be a continuous process. We can't say that it has to be, reviewed at certain after certain intervals. I think employees need to experience that the companies are constantly innovating and are creative, not only for employees but for all stakeholders. That's going to keep the buzz on in the organization. I think there should be experimentation happening all the while. There should be pilot project which should be rolled out for employees, which could improve the happiness quotient of employees. And this obviously would lead to higher engagement of employees, which is the key objectives of higher EX, which leads to, of course, higher CX. As an example, we have a hotel in Maharashtra, and that's going to be a net zero hotel by 2022. So employees need to feel that this company is committed to climate change. We need to ensure that what country is talking about, what entire world is talking about, companies are also in sync, because end of the day, what is important for the country is important for the company. So these are the things we need to keep on, to my mind, keep on, demonstrating to employees by doing things differently. So it has to be a continuous process. In a nutshell, I would say it has to be a continuous process.
Employee experience or importance of employee experience changes from industry to industry, or all the industry keep employee experience as their topmost priority? What's your views?
I think if I may, first of all, I would like to add something on what Samir said a minute before. I think it is indeed, and I really support your view, it is absolutely an ongoing process. It is a learning process for everyone. And we have to adapt as the pandemic and the crisis changes and evolves into new situations where people are vaccinated, people have to get the boosters, new variants are coming, like we have the current new variant that is sort of washing the world. So it is a learning process, but we also have to adapt and be able to adapt very rapidly to new conditions under the crisis. What the other important thing is, a lot of companies seem to sometimes forget about the values, and Samir spoke very importantly about the meaningful purpose and about the values and about the ECG and about making sure we are always aligned with our values in investing in climate change and healthcare and other issues. A lot of companies are so stressed because they went into the pandemic situation and they had a lot of challenges that they forget to focus also on their values. And the values is something that people and employees want to feel on a continuous basis. So it's not only learning skills on how to adapt and manage in times of crisis and digitalization and working from home. This is only part of it. But what ways do we strengthen the engagement and the loyalty to of the employees to the values? And we always, at Medics anyway, try to connect everyone to the meaningful purpose of what everyone is doing. And that really, really helps. And I fully agree with Samir. Very lastly on the industry, because I realize our time is up very shortly, I think all the industries share differences and also the same challenges. So every industry needs to implement and learn from others. Every industry should not just look what is going on in its own industry, but can learn from other industries and need to adapt also to the very specific needs of its own industry. But learning from others, I think, is crucial here, and adapting. Samir.
Yeah, just considering the time, one comment to what Sigal said. I think we should be all very objective driven. Objective is again to improve productivity and employee experience, which leads to eventually customer experience. So I would say that, products and services, they get easily commoditized the way disruptions are happening, the way innovation is happening. And employee experience, unique employee experience can be a huge differentiation eventually to customer experience. To sum up, I would say to create a sustainable organization, it's going to be important for every organization across sectors to adopt to enhancing employee experience. Some may adopt faster, some may adopt later to what Sigal said, but yes, it's going to be absolutely important.
That's great. So as Samir and Sigal rightly spoke, the focus on employee experience is increasingly in importance in almost all the industries. Well-being, flexibility, employee connect, and digital tools are becoming the center of experience for employees. Way forward for companies who want to stay afloat need to keep employee experience as an ongoing practice and may use customer experience playbook to achieve employee experience excellence. Thank you, Samir. Thanks, Sigal, for your great thoughts. Wish you have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Samir. Thank you, Preeti.
Thank you,
Thank
Sigal.
you
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Thank you everyone for your participation and the detailed inputs. Now we'll proceed to the next session. Stay tuned and keep the engagement high on social media using the hashtag ETHRHCE.